Hi there, my name is Andrew Domachowski. I'm a senior concept artist and illustrator in the film, television, and game industry. I'm currently working on the brand new Flash movie as well as other various game titles. Alright, and so jumping back into it, going right into DAZ, I just grabbed a basic Genesis 3 female body, and I'm sure most of y'all know how to pose in DAZ. It's I don't know, I find it to be really easy to pick up. What an amazing program to have. Just free models that you can animate. It's such an unbelievable resource. Man, just all the careers it's helped and how it's moved the industry forward. It's pretty great, and I can say the exact same of Blender, which now I'm jumping into. That bike that I just pulled in, that was that Dodge concept bike I was talking about, and I actually found a free model of it on TurboSquid. Great site you can find a lot of stuff on. And so, yeah, now I'm just starting to construct the gun, and I'm using the box cutter tool there to divide and create components. And you can see I'm not going to be too deep into it. I'm going to be pretty choosy with just kind of trying to get the bigger shapes, not so much the smaller shapes. Just so I can see how the light affects it. And I'm sure I'll have enough information to finish the design of the gun. Box cutter is crazy. It's so handy. I haven't quite perfected how to use it. I should practice more with it, but it's really handy. Yeah, I get weird areas like that. And it should be noted, I'm by no means a modeler by any conventional means. I mean, you know, I'm modeling as a concept artist. I'm just trying to get basic shapes in. I'm not trying to bring this to a super high fidelity. And you'll see even with the textures, I'm not trying to bring it to a high fidelity. What 3D gives me is free lighting and free perspective. Those are super invaluable. And so I'm not going to focus too much on making the design perfect or making the textures perfect. I can fix a lot and remedy a lot in post, and by post I mean Photoshop. Putting a quick handle in there, quick trigger. I'm just trying to get the general shape, right? And I'm just thinking there maybe there's a secondary trigger or a guard for, maybe there's a secondary trigger on the ammo mount. And much like the bike, I don't know all the terminology for a gun. I know more than for bikes though. Like I know what a stock is. I know what a barrel is. Ejection port, that kind of stuff. But not too much. This is a component that totally didn't need to model, but I did anyway. It's a perfect example of something that is probably too small a detail to even care. But, actually, if this wasn't the final design, it'd be good to know how it rakes, like the light rakes across, or rather the shadow rakes across the form. And I'm kind of thinking here the scope would pop up, but then it's kind of weird that the barrel is at the same level as the scope. Doesn't really make sense, so it's something I change later on. But I just kind of, just shape-wise, I just kind of liked having the gun be pretty girthy. And so I'm just trying to create an argument for that. Yeah, you can see there, I couldn't figure out why the box cutter wasn't working, so I just gave up, moved on. The thing with 3D is that I love it. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with it because I spend so much time in 3D. I mean, it's just so addictive, especially modeling. I can spend hours just modeling parts and, you know, texturing and fooling around with lighting and volumes and clouds. It's just, you know, it's just such a world full of depth, and that's why it's good to remind myself that I need to look for opportunities where I don't need to stay in one application too long, especially in 3D. There's just so much you can do, and you don't have to do everything. Especially as a concept artist, we're very lucky that we can kind of skip things in 3D. Or we can do a lot and make things look great. It's just so versatile to be able to use 3D, and Blender's such an amazing application. I can't believe how easy it was to pick up, and I know it pretty decent now, and it didn't take me long to get there. And yeah, I'd recommend it to anyone who's looking to get another application under their belt. I was really big into Moto, and I couldn't get my head around rigging, UV texturing, even lighting to a degree, but Blender just makes the whole process just so easy. You can see now I'm trying to grab components from that Dodge concept bike, and some parts are pretty cool, so I'm trying to see if I can use it for the bike I'm about to design. Yeah, you know, the handlebar, that'd be kind of a pain in the ass to model. So why not take it? It's free. If you can grab models from resources like Turbo Squid, I always recommend that. I mean, time is money. If you can save time, just spend a couple bucks online for a model, just pop it into your scene. It's always going to be worth it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just have the general shape of what you're going for. But in this case, you know, the bike I design here, it's not necessarily something I can just grab online. I'm not even going to try to name these components. I knew it once upon a time. I just know what it does, but hopefully that's enough. Yeah, cool little thing I can just grab there. Yeah. I end up deleting those suckers, don't need it. It's just too much of a pain to rotate. I'm just trying to flow at this point. If I get too stuck on an area and I don't feel like I really need it for the scene in the final render, then I'm not going to bother. I'll have to keep going. It's great tooling around in 3D too, just kind of seeing how everything fits. Initially I was going to model this in VR, in Oculus Rift, with that, what's that application called? Gravity Sketch. But I haven't really got to a good enough level where I feel comfortable, at least for this tutorial. But I do want to practice more. Some guys are beastly at it, and it's pretty inspiring to see just what you can do with Gravity Sketch in VR these days. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into modeling techniques just because I'm not the guy, you know, that's going to be breaking new ground with new techniques you haven't seen. I have a very rudimentary knowledge of 3D modeling. It's enough to indicate the forms I want to get across for rendering, and it's good enough for me. Maybe for a certain job I can get more into it. I like tooling around with ZBrush. That's an application I can get more into depth, just because I like sculpting in real life, and it's just fun to play around. Yeah, just interesting now, just seeing if those dimensions work on the bike from the sketch. I think it's okay, but yeah, her foot's resting kind of weird for now. Oh, this was hard. I just ended up trying again. It was a pain in the ass to adjust. There's that exhaust, kind of like a double layer. pretty fun keeping everything square. It just kind of makes it simple. And then I can always embellish things if I need to, but yeah, in a way it's almost like cheating. It's pretty ridiculous, just a square bike like that, but it presents a nice challenge for sure. Oh yeah, like I'll definitely steal that. I think I'm adding more dimension here. I think I want to expand a portion of this, or use the box cutter to, yeah, I'm just getting a bit more interesting shape in there. Quite honestly, I probably didn't even need to model this much. Like I always wonder how much I really need, just because my style relies a lot more on paint than sort of photorealistic 3D. I just yeah, I'm always trying to find out what that sweet spot is of when to stop the 3D. When can I go into Photoshop? And sometimes I almost get like a little bit of, I don't know, overexcitement to get to that painting stage, because it's fun. And at this stage I'm designing, like I'm trying to design in 3D, and it's a little, yeah, I think it's easier for some people, and I will say it's a lot easier now than it used to be, but it's always weird designing while pulling vertices across XYZ axes. I don't know, it's just not that organic. Free brake caliper, that's so cool. Didn't have to model that. I mean, I could just use it and adjust it. I feel like I probably could have just done this in Photoshop, but with the bike and its perspective and the dimensions, I just wanted to make sure I got that feeling right. That's what 3D is great for. Just making sure that perspective and the dimensions are all feeling like they're working and feeling good. Again, just putting a simple form in there. Not much to say about it. I mean, I'm just basically following the sketch at this point. A lot of the small detail design I'll be working out in Photoshop. I mean, that's where I'll be doing a lot more extensive reference gathering and trying to sell myself on the arguments for these big shape design ideas. Sometimes it's how I like to design. It's cool to design by form follows function, and I do that, but in this particular exercise it's more about form. Yeah, you can get pretty nitpicky with this stuff. I mean, if you're a 3D modeler, I don't have to tell you, and of course I'm not going for perfection here, but just got to get things setting right. And I mean, her pose isn't quite natural. I don't like how the left hand's not really reaching for that handle, but I kind of fake it in the final product, and I think it works okay. I love how you can export the rig from DAZ into Blender. Just it's nice to play around with the joints and get the pose feeling just a little bit better. Yeah, I could have stopped right there. Didn't have to go forward on this part. But I got that thing. It's like an itch I gotta scratch if there's things that aren't working. If I haven't properly deleted all the vertices, I just gotta get it. And yeah, sometimes when I model, things are just a little sloppy. I don't mean to be. Just I miss things. I get double edges and pain in the ass. But sometimes I can't continue unless I handle that. It would actually be kind of cool to do another illustration based on the scene. I mean, I have the 3D already. All I'd have to do is just choose a new camera angle and kind of pop off another painting. Got all the references already. That's the other great thing about 3D. And in the concept side of things, you can kind of tell a more vast story. Stop. You're good. Or am I? I don't know. I wish I had a set system, you know, just a common to me way of going about things, the process. But in truth, I really don't have that. I mean, every damn time I do an illustration or a design, it's never quite the same in terms of process. I'm always trying to adapt and learn new things and trying to streamline it. But hell, if I just follow the same technique every goddamn time, it'd be pretty streamlined. But it's fun to mix it up. Oh, this part's so much fun. Just straighten out those vertices and yeah, pain in the ass. Little screen there, and I'm just trying to make the surface of the bike kind of go the same angle, of course. Look at me, still touching it. Something I could have definitely figured out in Photoshop, but whatever. It's fun watching myself in a way because to me I feel slow. Like I'm just pausing the recording and taking a look at the 3D, and the painting, and I'm just like, oh my god. And then you speed it up and you just feel great. But that's just not the truth of the situation. Yeah, I was trying not to screw up in the recording, which was weird for me because I guess I screw up quite often. That's sort of my process in figuring out the illustration or design. Trial by error. And yeah, I was taking a lot of breaks and just really trying to think. I guess in the same way I was drawing in the sketchbook. I mean, hell, why wouldn't I do 3D design and painting in the same way? So in that regard, I'm thankful that I had to record under duress because I was thinking a lot more, and that's never a bad thing. Well, unless you're overthinking, then it's bad. Those little components were pretty cool. It's nice to be able to steal those. I really need to get a library of a kit, like put all my assets in a kit bashing library. That'd be really handy. And I know there's a really good way that Blender does it. It's a plugin. You can kind of just browse through your assets, and yeah, that would definitely help with efficiency. The bike, I had to model a lot more for sure. I can kind of get away with organic things, especially on the Hunter. I mean, I was thinking before this, man, should I really spend good time in ZBrush and sculpt all the wrinkles and forms and glove on her? And, you know, just for my style, it's not really necessary. Some people have a great aesthetic when they go full 3D, or not full 3D rather, but when they utilize at least 90% 3D. And man, I just think it looks great when they pull it off. But just for me, I don't know, I don't have the patience for that. And I think I like painting too much. I like losing the edges. I like putting down texture. It's just a lot of fun and appealing to me aesthetically. Yeah, just trying to figure out this front wheel and how it connects to the swing arm. Is that what it's called? Man, I was thinking about that for the whole video. Sweating bullets here. Should have just Googled that. I hope that's what it's called. Although, because the configuration is different on this bike, I don't actually know if it's called that. Please don't be mad at me, people, if you love bikes. I promise I love them too. Probably not as much, though. Just doing the tachometer and Speedometer. Is that what they're called? Oh my god. I swear I'm gonna do research after this video. I'm checking myself. There's still a lot of there's still a lot of bones in the body. I have no idea what they're called, and I've been drawing human figures for years now. What's my issue? Damn. Anyway. Yeah, it's a nice element to steal from that bike too. That it's funny, like there's components I want to talk about, but I don't remember what they're called. So, well, you know what the brake calipers squeeze on? The wheel? I mean, is it the wheel with the holes in it? Please don't make fun of me. Anyway, that was a cool element to get from the model too. Yep, didn't need to model this. We as concept artists are so lucky that we can use paint to cover up mistakes, or like this part, for instance. I could have easily just taken an eraser brush and just made an angle on the bike and just guessed. But whatever, maybe I'll find another angle and take another crack at the bike. It would actually be really cool to do a full scene in 3D and just kind of really try to push that photorealism and push myself to the furthest capabilities that I could go in 3D, and really try to design in 3D, really try to push myself. And I'd probably have to do a lot of sketches on that notepad, and that seems fine. But yeah, I'm just so inspired by all the great work that people are doing these days, especially in Blender, and yeah, why not? And I really want to do a sculpt. I really want to do a high fidelity figurative sculpt. Just cause. Maybe get that thing printed out. Yeah, when I was working at ILM, there's a few really amazing modelers who would sculpt in their own spare time, and they'd make these beautifully wonderful strange creatures, and they would 3D print it out, and it would be on their desk, and it's just such a cool thing to have. Again, I'm just trying to model just enough to get that lighting information and perspective right. It's my top priority. Getting that shoulder pad in, just quick and flowy, trying to get that component in there and then move on. And yeah, this kind of stuff, especially with belts, that's something that I should be really, making a library from. A vast library of pants, shirts, gloves, boots. Yeah, that's something I'll definitely do. Guns, just something to put in the scene. Especially now, since I'm doing a lot more 3D these days. Yeah, I always think, especially with this kind of stuff, VR is so good at placing things into a scene. If you want to just like put that gun right on her thigh, it's really easy to do that. But I still haven't got the knack in Gravity Sketch to get the dimensional modeling like I'm doing here. like how I just failed on trying to connect those two vertices. Yeah. No point stressing about that. And again, just trying to get those big shapes. I know the rest of her suit's going to be pretty skin tight, so there's no real point to add too much extraneous detail to the figure, at least for now in 3D. But beveling is pretty important, I find, just to get the key angles reading correctly, especially on basic geometry. This part was pretty cool. I mean, this is the first time I actually did this, but yeah, I basically just exported that DAZ model and created a mask in ZBrush, and then from there you can just make hair pretty quickly. And it's pretty self-explanatory too, and how you go about it. And yeah, a few trial and error attempts here, but it's really fun to comb this stuff and brush it. Oh yeah, this part I was like screaming at the screen, just trying to lock it. Oh my god, just trying to lock it down. But yeah, look how much fun that is, just to be able to comb it back like that. Yeah, that one wasn't working out, so here I am trying again. Yeah, I made the hair strands a bit thicker. And it's just the same as the bike. I'm not trying to get absolutely perfect. I just want to get the main volumes working all correctly. And I think this is the last part of this video. Just gotta finish combing the rest and making it look just a bit more natural. And then after this, I'm just gonna export the OBJs and pop it into the scene and try to get a feeling like it's all working, looking natural, looking right. And I think that's it for this one. So I'll see you guys in video number 3. All right.